Hello mouses! Okay, today I want to talk about the strange case of a woman in Norway who has had her Kindle account deleted and all of the books that she's bought removed from her device, all for the crime of buying Kindle books. Okay, the woman, who is only known as Lean, has been buying books from Amazon.co.uk and putting them on her Norwegian Kindle. The reason she's been doing this is she has a friend's email address in the UK and uses that to access the Amazon account. Because Amazon has different accounts for different areas due to basically its deals with publishers. Now, according to the terms and conditions of using a Kindle, you are restricted to the area where the Kindle is from, basically. So if you buy a UK Kindle, you can buy from the UK Kindle store. Sometimes you can get from the American Kindle store, but that's not usually true. But this woman had a Norwegian Kindle and was based in Norway, but was buying from the UK site. And you can't do that according to Amazon's terms and conditions. The reason being that it has a different set of distribution agreements for Norway compared to Britain. So there's a difference in what it can supply according to its terms and conditions with its publishers. Now that's a problem for this woman because she wanted to buy something that was available in Britain but not in Norway, and as a result her account has been deleted. So what can she do about this? Well, to be honest with you, not an awful lot. The biggest problem that comes from this is that the contract that she has is a contract under British law, but she's not in Britain, she's not even part of Europe because Norway didn't join the EU. It's part of the EC but not the EU, so a lot of European law can't apply to her case, including the law on unfair terms and conditions, unless Norway has specifically joined that particular piece of legislation due to a treaty or something like that, which I can't find any information on whether it has or not. So I'm going to go with the idea that it hasn't because it seems like it hasn't. So, what can she do? Not an awful lot, because the terms of the contract are very strict and to a certain extent would violate the EC regulation on consumer contracts, the unfair terms in consumer contract regulations of 1999. There you go. And because they're basically, Amazon is saying you want to use it, you use these terms, and that's it. They can't be individually negotiated. So it can be seen as unfair when you find an unfair term. And the fact is that she's had her account terminated without warning because she's bought something from somewhere else. To be honest with you, the account and the way it's checked should obviously have a fail-safe where I can say, no, this is a violation, we're going to stop you from being able to do it. But it doesn't. It has a check to make sure that you're not using stuff bought from the UK and Norway, but it doesn't have a way of using that check to tell you, you can't do this, this is going to give you a warning on your account, don't do it again or we'll have to take measures. It doesn't do that. It just blanks your account. It's oh, you violated our terms, you're gone. All of the books you bought, they're gone. We'll keep the money, but you can't have the books. Now, this is where it becomes unfair, because clearly Amazon have a way of detecting whether you're breaking their terms and conditions, but it doesn't notify you of that. And to be honest with you, there are several ways where you could violate those terms and conditions without even knowing it, without doing it on purpose. So there should be a way of saying, this is your first warning, this is your second warning, etc, etc, but there isn't. So Amazon's keeping all of its tools to itself in order to use its information as it sees fit, and that's where it becomes unfair. Not only that, but the fact is, just because you've bought something from somewhere else doesn't mean that they can take everything off you. You've bought a license for those books. Each thing is an individual contract. There may be an overriding contract on the use of the Kindle, which is violated, and therefore there might be a claim that you can't use the Kindle, or at least the Kindle account from that point of view. But at the same time, those individual contracts, what happened to them? Amazon has therefore decided that this contract here overrides all of these, so the terms and conditions that are in there are superfluous, effectively. It's all about this contract here, about use of your Kindle. But that can't be right, can it? And that's where it becomes unfair, because they're basically saying, all of these terms and conditions on sale of the license to use this book on this device, they don't matter. What matters is this one over here. And we're not going to make sure that you understand that when you're buying these individual books, those individual contracts are useless. And there's a big problem, because basically they're saying, this one here has all the unfair terms, and these have unfair terms too. We're going to seriously limit what you can do with the thing that you've just bought a license for. Because remember, you don't buy the actual book when it's an ebook. You buy a license to use that book. This one over here, full of unfair terms. We're going to shut down your account because we think you violated things. And that's another one. Think. They don't have to prove anything. They can, if they think you've done wrong, there's your contract gone. So, what can she do? Unfortunately, not an awful lot. If she wants to come to the UK, she can fight this under the fact that she's bought from the UK. But she's going to have a lot of problems with the fact that she has contracted and used a UK email address in order to get around the terms and conditions that Amazon set up. So you can't buy from the UK from Norway and this, that and the other. So she's going to have a lot of problems there because she's not coming with clean hands. But does that override the fact that Amazon have just arbitrarily cancelled her account? I don't know. That's for a judge to decide, and to be honest with you, I don't know how that would go, because it's bad on both sides, really. She's effectively deceived the company in order to get an advantage, which is not going to go well. So what information can we take from this? But basically, what you need to remember is these companies are out to screw you at every point, to screw you out of your money, that is, not just to be nasty, because you've got to remember that they want to make money, and they make more money if they keep your business coming back. But if you try and get around the terms and conditions, you're going to find that they're going to detect it at some point. You're going to have a lot of problems if you want to try and prosecute for anything. She's effectively now got an account that she can't use and a Kindle that she can't use. And that's no good for anyone. Certainly not for her, but to the same extent, not good for Amazon either. So, what can we say from this? Basically, don't try and circumvent terms and conditions, because at the end of the day, Amazon have to protect their business as well. And the reason that they're doing a lot of these DRMs to control where things are allowed to be bought from is because the publishers of the book want to make individual deals in individual countries in order to make the most money for their product. So Amazon, to publish in Norway, must have a contract with the publisher, and to publish in the UK must have a contract with the publisher. And yes, they'll try and get a worldwide deal if they can, because that means they can publish straight away to the entire world. But that's not really going to happen with most of the big publishing houses, because they want to negotiate everything individually, and that's where this problem comes from. So a lot of the newspapers and the media that are covering the story are blaming Amazon for this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to blame the publisher, because they have prevented this book that she wanted to read from being published in Norway on Kindle ebooks at this point. Maybe it'll be there in the future. Right now it's not, and that's the problem. So it's the publishers that are causing all of these problems. If the publishers didn't want DRM and restrictions on where you can buy things, this would never have happened. And it's an open world with everyone being able to buy everything from anywhere that will solve this. But until then, we've got to stick with what you can. So, to be honest with you, she'd have actually been better off torrenting the book, maybe buying a hardback copy or a paperback copy in her own country, but torrenting the book and just uploading it to the Kindle as an email. And it pains me to say that, because I produce ebooks, I write books, I publish books. My company that I run is a publishing company. We'll supply to anyone who wants it. We don't go, oh, you have to negotiate for different countries individually, because it's stupid. In the modern world, you can't do that. This kind of problem comes from that. But not all the other houses do that. And it pains me to say, she'd have been better off pinching the book from the internet rather than trying to circumvent these contracts. And as much as it pains me to say that, that's really all we've got time for today. So, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, remember to click the like button, share it with your friends so that they can see what problems come from trying to get around contractual obligations, and subscribe for future videos. Until next time, I've been Kirk-Robinson, you've been watching the Knobmouse channel, and I'll see you tomorrow.